Welcome to Simply Raw News. I'm your news anchor, Jadzia Mfume. Florida's approach to teaching Black history is under renewed scrutiny amid accusations that state leaders are shaping a selective version of the past. Critics argue that history education has long reflected the perspectives of those in power, leaving significant gaps in how America's racial history is told. That debate has intensified under Governor Ron DeSantis, whose administration has pushed policies reshaping how race, racism, and inequality are addressed in the classroom. In 2021, DeSantis signed the Stop Woke Act, limiting instruction on race-related topics in schools and workplaces. 2 years later, Florida rejected the College Board's AP African American Studies course, citing concerns over political ideology. Revised state standards were later approved, but backlash followed one provision stating that enslaved people benefited from skills they developed while enslaved. Civil rights organizations, historians, educators, and the NAACP condemned the language, calling it misleading and harmful. The DeSantis administration maintains the changes prevent divisive instruction and ensure lessons remain factual, age-appropriate, and compliant with state law. Opponents counter that the policies restrict honest discussions of slavery, segregation, and systemic racism, disproportionately affecting Black history education. The dispute has prompted protests, legal challenges, and alternative community-led programs aimed at teaching a more comprehensive history as the national debate over who controls classroom narratives continues. The education policies currently in place in Florida prove that the book will glorify the author and not the characters. So he who holds the pen matters. The pieces of history that were left on the editing floor are just as paramount as the pieces that made the cut. The DeSantis administration argues the changes prevent lessons that could divide students or assign guilt based on race. The truth is that this country has a violent past beyond slavery, soaked in hate-filled racism. Preserving white guilt at the expense of Black history is asinine. The truth doesn't assign guilt, it raises awareness. As the old saying goes, if you don't know your history, you may be doomed to repeat it. This is Jadzia Mfume reporting for Simply Raw News. Stay tuned and stay curious because there's always more to the story.
American history isn't told as it should be because of the racist elements systematically embedded in American culture. This prevents truths from being told and also makes it seem as if this country is above the ugliness and hatred that it was saturated with from the very beginning, when the Native Americans were betrayed and mistreated and when their land was stolen from them. The country refuses to accept truth, even on January 6th, when Trump refused to accept that he'd lost the election to Biden and the horrific incident that ensued and is now embedded in the history of America that everyone from here to China witnessed. Lies and stereotypical fake stories told about Black Americans are spread like disease to the point of having other Americans believing things about Black Americans that are so far from the truth, such as Black people are lazy, when in fact it was Black people who raised white children, picked cotton fields, cooked, cleaned, and built and invented many things and made this country what it is today. But because of the omissions and lies in American history, who would know anything positive about Blacks in this country? Anyone with a modicum of intelligence would know that Black people were not allowed to be lazy. They were forced to work continuously. So how could they be lazy? The ugly lies are continually perpetuated to make sure people continue to fear, hate, and disrespect Blacks regularly. If people in this country and abroad knew the truth, things would be so different. The things kept in the dark will come to light as they have today. It's a deep and important reality that so much of American history has been told through a very selective lens. And a lot of the incredible contributions by Black Americans have been hidden or twisted and stolen by those systemic biases. It's definitely powerful to use this platform to bring those truths to light. And honestly, with Simply Raw News, we've got a great space to share those real stories and flip the script. Because, as we said, once those hidden truths come to light, perspectives can and will definitely change for the betterment of this society. For February 2026, we will share information regularly throughout the month of February that will be surprising to many in honor of Black History Month.